Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Lindsay McGrath, and I am the Communications and Events Specialist for the Office of Alumni Relations and Development here at Smith College. We are so delighted to have you all joining us today for the program for the webinar, Third Space for Genuine Happiness with Jung Starrett. Jung is a Smith College alum from the class of '83 and is a partner at Soulco LLC. And she asked me to keep it simple since her bio was on the registration page, but I'm going to turn it over to her and welcome and thank you so much, Jung, for sharing your time and talents with us today.
Thank you. Thank you, Lindsay. And thank you, everyone, for being here. My name is Jung, and I am calling from Boston. So wonderful to see every one of you. And I am arriving with actually excitement. This webinar has been in the back of my mind and my heart for a while. And also a bit of awkwardness, like whenever, even though we are all Smithies, like whenever the first time we meet, there is that kind of awkwardness as well. So I am curious also how you are arriving today and what are you feeling? And I just want to say, if you brought a feeling as a friend to this space, all feelings are welcome as well. So if you don't mind sharing in the chat box how you're arriving today and what you are feeling, love to know. Let's see. Curious, yes. Excited. Frazzled. Yes. I see afraid, optimistic, open. Demoralized. Overwhelmed. Yes, it's hard to get back to work, right? After this COVID time. Hurried and hopeful, hungry, interested, hopeful. Frazzled, another frazzled, exhausted. Okay. Yeah, keep sharing your feelings just so that we can all feel this together. Somehow that when we are alone, it's hard to feel what I feel if it's a difficult emotion. But when we can share it with others, somehow that container is bigger, so we can also share and we can hold the feelings together without having to jump into fix or do something about it, but we can just hold with our presence. Also, a lot of times when we arrive at a meeting like this, on Zoom or even in person, often we find ourselves, our body is here, but our mind might be somewhere else. You know, what I had for breakfast, or what am I going to do today? What is after this meeting? So I'd like to invite everyone to arrive fully here. What would it be like to have the mind and the body in one place and just synchronizing? And then there's just feeling coming home. So it's just an experiment, but I like to invite you to just first, feel your posture. I'm standing, but I don't know if you're sitting. Just feeling the posture, how you're feeling, the way you're sitting, the way you're standing, however that is. Hello, body, I'm here, I'm home. You may feel the feet, the soles on the floor. And if you're sitting, just allowing the weight of the body to just rest on the chair and just feel. How does the body feel right now? And then if you bring that gentle attention to the back of the body, when we come to a screen like this, everybody's in a rectangle, and I call them shining portals because to me, everybody's light is shining through these rectangles. But we also have space. We are 3-dimensional, right? And everybody else that I see on the screen, also 3-dimensional. We have body. So bring attention to the back body. The natural uprightness of our spine. We rarely pay attention to our back. Often we are always in the front. But the back body, and feel the strength of the body. Our ancestors, our teachers, mentors who have our backs. So just bringing that gentle awareness to the back body. And then bringing the attention to the top of the head. Ooh, there's space above. So how does it feel to feel that spaciousness above the head and between my head and the sky, and unlimited possibilities that's always in conversation with us? And then bringing attention to the front, the heart, your heart space. Just gently inquiring, what am I feeling right now? We feel joy, excitement, curiosity. Some of us may be celebrating some things. And there's also anxiety. There's fear of the unknown. Also the brokenheartedness. Some of us may have grief, sadness. We're trusting the fullness of the heart. The heart can feel all these feelings and hold. So just sensing into that heart space. And then finding that breath that connects the body and the mind, however that is for you and wherever that's most prominent for you. For some, could be belly rising up and falling, or the chest rising with in-breath, falling with the out-breath. Or some may feel the cool air coming in through the nostril as breathing in, and warm air going out, breathing out. But the important thing is just resting the attention. Our natural ability to just rest the attention on the body, the feeling of the body, the feeling of the breath moving through the body. So simply sitting or standing, breathing, and being. So just having few breaths coming through your body. And if your body feels like moving, that's completely fine. Listening to the body and being loyal to the body's needs. So long as we pay attention and being aware of how our body is moving and staying still. So we spend a lot of time looking at the screen. You don't have to look at the screen. You can face away from the screen. You may lower your gaze or close your eyes if that feels right for you. So why don't we just have a silent moment for a minute to rest in this place. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out at your own pace. And if thoughts come, that's totally natural. Just let it pass by. And coming back to the feeling of the body or the breath. And as we are closing this practice, it's just simply asking the question, what truly matters? What is my intention for being here, right now? And when you're ready, gently opening your eyes if it's been closed, they've been closed, and moving your body in any way it would like to move. You may want to stretch, you may want to roll your neck, shake your hands, however body wants to move. And then gently bringing your attention to the screen. We don't have many cameras on, but whoever is on, we can just look around and feel each other. It's amazing how many thousands of miles, and some of us, are in a different continent. Yet we can feel one another. And also, if you spot a familiar face, wishing them well. I wish you well. Or saying hello. Well, thank you. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for experimenting this practice with me. And so now I'd like to ask you, how are you feeling now? You will see the theme. I'm going to come back to feeling. We rarely make time space for feeling. How are you feeling now? I see grounded, calm, yes, more open and relaxed, calmer. Yeah, relaxed. It's very interesting that just a few moments can get us calmer and more relaxed. And the body is happy when we bring attention to it. Did you notice that? It's so interesting that energy follows the attention. And some would say love is attention. That when we bring love to body, that attention on the body becomes happier somehow. Mild headache, yeah. Noticing things that's there. It's wanting some attention, happy. Yes, calmer, one with the body. Good to stretch. Yes, thank you. Thank you for your comments and sharing. And so this mind-body synchronization, it's the natural state. And when we can be in one place, I don't think that the real pandemic is not the coronavirus, but the pandemic that we've been suffering from for a long time is this disconnection between mind and body. We think one thing, we say another, and then we do yet another thing, right? And somehow we are rushing. And sometimes I wonder, what am I rushing to? Come back here, aware of my mind and body right now. And actually, my teacher always says, Jung, you don't even have to take a course. Just take one full minute to just look out the window. What do you notice? What do you hear? What do you feel? And then what connects the two? That bringing that awareness in the present moment, that just takes 1 minute. And this capacity to see things as they are, not what we want it to be, hope to be, wishing it to be. And there's nothing wrong with all those, but the reality wins all the time, right? Reality is what it is. So some of us may think of ourselves as change makers, but life is change. Life change is happening all the time. So I'm beginning to wonder It's not making change outside that I want to see and I want to live, but actually, how do I listen to life and how do I presence each moment to align with all the life, richness of the life that is here every moment, and all the opportunities and possibilities that I'm missing because of my negativity bias, that I'm always looking at things that's not going well. But at the same time, we do not make space. We don't turn toward things that is difficult for us to actually be with and stay with, because we don't have the capacity. So negativity bias gets us to think and spin and then not come home, because it's hard to feel the difficult emotions and even the body, sometimes the body pain. But making friends with mind and body, and how nourishing that can be. And for me, I start each day with sitting and the body practice, because if I don't do that, I get lost. And also throughout the day, just the ordinary moments that coming back to. And the Harvard study, I think that was done early 2010. A bunch of social psychologists, Matt Killingworth was the one who did the study. But the study was, the title of the research paper was "The Wandering Mind is an Unhappy Mind." So even if we're cleaning the toilet or washing dishes, if our mind is on the task with the body, then we're happier. And that's what the researchers have found. So this ability to come back to the present moment is a gift that we can give to ourselves. And uncomfortable feelings and unwanted feelings, we talk about diversity and inclusion a lot for our workplace, our society. But to be able to include without exclude, if I'm not doing this inside, it's hard to do it outside. And same thing with psychology. Today, a lot of people talk about psychological safety at workplace. There's a lot of literature about it, a lot of books written. It is true that Google did study, and they found out that the one element that really does make effective team is the psychological safety more than anything else. Isn't that interesting? Yet, and during one workshop, somebody raised a hand and said, that's very interesting. So leaders are responsible for creating this psychologically safe environment. But what if they're not safe inside themselves? Can they really create that kind of environment outside? So creating time to reflect and digest, and also integrate what we're learning into our life. And actually, that is something that I don't think that a lot of us are not doing it, because it's easier to just get sucked into the mainstream faster, more hotter way of doing. And so this way of really coming back and really ordinary activities, it's not something that we have to sit for 20 minutes in the morning. It's really every time when my mind is wandering, just bring it back. And sometimes all it takes is a one intentional breath and to say, I'm here. And this becomes easier if we practice often, even if it's a short amount of time. And what I found is that when I can grow the capacity to be with uncomfortable feelings, it's really, it's almost like recognizing the feeling, and then it's inviting in like a friend, and then say, I will take good care of you. And that way of gentle way of dealing with difficult emotions, because that is part of me. And I'm not a psychologist, but this is what I've been practicing, is that my fear comes up, my shame, my sadness, and sometimes for no reason I'm crying and I don't know why. But instead of going to do something else, I sit with that part of me that needs attention, needs understanding. So looking more deeply and listening deeply so that we can live each moment fully and more deeply. I mean, if that's what we aspire to do, of course, that's the invitation. So that is an individual practice. But what I'm really excited to share with you today is what I found during the pandemic time. It was really a gift. It just like accidentally found. So when I think it was March or spring of 2020 anyway, when the lockdown happened, and I realized, the whole world is closing down, but there was me, and I also know some other folks who have been training for this moment, meaning that we've been doing contemplative practice, we've been training on emotional intelligence, soft skills, the things that the main culture may not value, but we've been doing this. We can offer this, we can be of service. What can we do? And so we started this gathering, an online gathering. And in the beginning, we didn't know who was going to show up, but 10 countries, so that wouldn't have happened if it weren't a pandemic, right? In real person, we wouldn't have had people from 10 different countries, 10 plus actually, coming every week to this gathering, and it's online. And we just had an intention that who are we and what is our work? The intention that the world is disrupted, and how can we navigate this time? It's almost like that wayfinding skills that we haven't learned, right? Because the future is uncertain, but we cannot be stuck where we are. We have to move, we have to make decisions, we have to go. So all the business leaders whose intention is to transform business as a creative force for greater good. So we've gathered them, and we thought that it was going to be about business, it was going to be about work, but surprisingly, that wasn't the case. That every Tuesday would come, and with presence, and we were able to digest what was happening. Meaning that digesting emotions, we think that food is the only thing digesting. No, if we are not digesting emotions, right, the life experience as we go through, it piles up, and then we get overwhelmed, and we are like, wow, we are overwhelmed. But it's because we are not digesting that information, emotion, whatever the experience. So that space has become this place where we really reflect on what are we doing, what are we feeling, and what is it there that we can sense. But we cannot even put words to it, but we sense, right? The body wisdom. And so we came together. And so it was a very simple format that we presence, we arrived like we've arrived today. And then we would just share out what was happening in our lives. And that's how it took shape over time. And what was happening that was really interesting was that mindfulness and all this meditative practice, and a lot of people do it alone. But when there is that collective presencing happening, and from there, the coherence builds. And then from there, the resonance. And this collective intelligence was something that was magical that everybody was experiencing. It's like this, like, oh my God, I have so much to do and I can't come, but I showed up anyway. And somehow this problem or thing that I was struggling with, somebody else was also struggling with, and somebody else was sharing, and I now can see what my next step can be. And nobody could have planned this. This was happening because we were present with each other and the deep, deep listening that was happening. And so the power of listening with an open mind without the judgment, without the opinion, without the belief. Of course, this takes practice, right? It's a lifetime journey. I mean, mind is constantly assessing, analyzing, thinking and planning. So, but when we suspend that part of us and then just open mind, and we're listening from that place, not an habitual place, downloading information, and then what am I going to say? So that place, and then open heart. And it's like we all have that natural wisdom, the genuine goodness. So we listen with that open-heartedness, and then open will, which is also courage, strength that we have. So it was like a whole body listening happening. And that power of listening it was a practice of unconditional love, because love is understanding, and understanding doesn't happen unless we listen. So we were listening to each other, but more importantly, listening to the space in between. So that was very interesting thing about this collective presencing and mindfulness. So along with the power of listening becoming the practice of unconditional love, the power of speaking from the heart, which was also very powerful, that in the moment that I am not pretending, I am not, that the vulnerability that was possible because the place was safe enough, that I can speak from my heart and share out, not just what I'm thinking, but what I am feeling. And things that I couldn't even put words to it, but this is what I am sensing in my body, and that's speaking from that place. So that led to this unconditional acceptance of me as I am, that I don't have to put on a mask, that my genuine goodness can be of gift to others as well as to me. And then the third thing that we found out is that this agenda-less nature of the meeting. And when I say agenda-less, it was not like whatever, happens goes. No, agenda-less meaning that there was no outcome, no goal. People were showing up because they wanted to. And a lot of people were saying, this is the only meeting I show up because I want to be here. And that agenda-less, but with the intention of deep listening and presencing. And that was a practice of embracing the not knowing. We didn't know who was going to show up. We didn't know what was going to happen, but showing up. And that was a practice of unconditional confidence. So this is what we learned. And I think when we actually asked people, because it went on for 2 years, every week without missing. So 100-something sessions, 2 weeks from May of 2020 till May of 2022. We asked, what was the secret sauce? And it was the guiding principles that we've all agreed to create a safe and respectful space. So what were they? The guiding principle for co-creating space, yes, the confidentiality. That was a very important part of creating space that is safe. And so it was, I take my learning, but who said what stays in this place, right? So that was very important. The second thing that we all agreed to and tried to practice was no expectation, no obligation to speak. Speaking was not mandatory for you, if you say, because in our mainstream culture, talking is valued, right? The ideas, the talk, and whoever speaks the most words, intelligent, has a lot to say. But in this space, we said, no, it's no obligation or expectation to speak, but we listen, because my presence alone is a gift to the group, and the group presencing is a group gift to me. And I use the word presencing. It's the being present and sensing. So we are being present, but not just the mind, but the whole body. So we're sensing what is here. So that was a very important part of what we were practicing, that being present mean that my participation meant that being present and listening with an open mind, curiosity, open heart, the compassion, our genuine empathy, and then open will, that we all have, that courage to speak, courage to listen to something that's uncomfortable, right? If somebody else is suffering, it is uncomfortable. And then the next one was really, we were, as I said, agendaless. So it wasn't a place to fix something or have a solution. And it was actually a place where we could feel and sense more clearly. So we said, no advice, but we share our own wisdom, speaking from I perspective. I see, I feel, I sense, I experience this. This is what I sense. And so that I owning my own wisdom. So that's what we did. And then lastly, that we say silence is part of the conversation. The silence is part of the conversation. The space is actually very, very intelligent when we allow it to be. So these were the 5 rules that we've used. So I've shared a lot, and I'm just gonna take a moment of pause, the silence. One of the rules was anybody can actually ask for a moment of silence at any given time if we need it. So before we go into question and comments, like I think we want to invite you to this breakout room exercise. It's called mindful listening. So we'll have 3 people in the breakout room. And when you get into the breakout room, you're going to designate, okay, who's going to be person A, person B, person C. All right. And person A will be speaking first for full 3 minutes. And so for full 3 minutes, the other 2 will be just listening. No interruption, no asking questions, no comments, holding the space for the person to speak from the heart. And if the speaker does not have anything to say, that's okay. Hold the silence for the person. And then after 3 minutes, you will get a breakout room broadcast message saying, okay, take a breath, move to the second person, person B. And same thing, person B will speak for 3 minutes, full 3 minutes. And if you don't want to speak, that's totally fine. Again, you can be silent, no expectation, no obligation to speak. The other 2 will listen and hold space for the person. Okay, so person A, person B, person C, the same way, the 3 times. And then the last 3 minutes, whatever remaining minutes, will be a meta conversation, meaning that 3 of you will say, okay, what was that like? What did I notice? How do I feel now after that mindful listening? Being listened to that way or being speaking in that kind of setting, what was that like for you? Here are some topics. What is resonating for you right now? Or how could you create space for yourself? Or anything else. The prompts are just for you to think of something to say, but really doesn't matter. What matters is what does the heart want to speak right now? What wants to come through in the space that's being held in this moment? And then if the internet connection isn't good, if you lose a member, then 3 minutes speak, 3 minutes, the other 2, the person B speaks for 3 minutes, and then rest can be meta conversation. If you lose both people and you're the only one in the room, then please feel free to journal on these questions or whatever is alive for you, or you may return to the main room and join us.